Iga is unstoppable. She wins her second Roland Garros title, her 34th consecutive win. Who's going to stop her? Don't ask me because I have absolutely zero idea. She beats Coco Gauff in straight sets in a dominant display in Philippe Chatrier. And in Paris, I tell you what, they love her. They also love Coco Gauff as well, who had a fantastic tournament. We'll touch upon that. But we're going to break down the match specifically and also then touch upon the tournament as well that Iga's had and kind of the form she's in. She played some very solid tennis. Now, the first set, she kind of ran away with it. It was a breadstick. Second set, she was actually 2-love down straight away in the start of the second set. Coco Gauff played some good tennis. Some, uncharacteristic unforced errors from Iga Swiatek in this kind of more aggressive brand of tennis she's now playing and has had a lot of success with as of late. But then just started firing and winners left, right, and center. And she just exudes confidence. She seems to have an incredible defensive game. Now the kind of aggressive or kind of proactive part of her game now is just elite. I mean, the forehand, she's able to take with it with ease. The backhand up the line is phenomenal. And the first serve, she's bolted up. The second serve, the kick serve is great. She's hitting a lot of first serves. And the 1+ plays are just incredible. And it reminds me a little bit of Rafa in terms of the serve coming into play and then it's into a corner and then it's a shorter return or an average kind of return in terms of depth from the opponent. And then she just steps on the gas straight away. 1+ shot steps in, makes it a forehand, and the opponent's on the defensive straight away. And she either wins the point within 4 shots or the opponent is having to play a defensive masterclass to the point to get anywhere near winning it. So a really dominant display from her. She did it as well. 6-1, 6-3 in the end. And I've just got the stats in front of me and I can go through them. Some of the kind of the biggest ones. The first serve percentage at 73%, Coco Gauff at 65%. First serve points won, 72% for Iga Swiatek, 46% for Coco Gauff. And second serve points won, 58% for Swiatek, 40% for Coco Gauff. She had to try and save 10 break points, only managed to save 5, Coco Gauff. Swiatek had to save just a single one and didn't save it. So that was the one where she got broken at the start of the second set. In terms of winners unforced errors, overall in the match, 18-16 for Swiatek, which is pretty damn good. More winners than unforced errors in the final. And Coco Gauff, 14-23. So not her best display, and you could tell there was some nerves there. At the start of the match, she had a very nervy first service game where she served a double fault. She was struggling to find the first serve, Coco Gauff, and that's understandable. It's her first ever Grand Slam final. What do you expect, really? And I kind of was expecting that, and I just thought, okay, well, hopefully the nervy part of the match for her would be as short as possible. And it ended up being kind of more of a set. And then after that, she kind of warmed into it, especially in that second set. Iga was just too strong in the end. But that first service game, she got broken. And then, of course, not the ideal start. Iga just ran away with it. Now, Coco Gauff was playing probably not the type of tennis we're used to seeing her play at Roland Garros this year. Definitely wasn't at her best. But I think even her on her best day this year, which say we're talking about her maybe in the semi-finals or quarterfinal against Swiatek, I still think, she loses. She might lose in 3 sets, but there's definitely some aspects to her game that can be improved. And, she'll definitely look to that. I mean, she can definitely look towards someone like Swiatek in terms of the serve 1+ play. She's got a bigger first serve than Swiatek. She does. If she can just hit her spots on the first serve, when she did, she had a lot of success against Swiatek, got some free points, on return serves. She hit a couple of aces as well. Even just a shorter return, and she's able to step in. And she's normally pretty good at putting away the shorter ball. That's not the issue. It's the ball's kind of at average length in terms of depth and deeper into court. She doesn't maybe do as much as she can do with them. I think Swiatek would kind of press at anything average length. Coco Gauff maybe wouldn't. I think the issue was she was worried about making a lot of errors because she was, kind of missing the lines at times. And I did feel she was trying to go for the lines too much. And she started making errors trying to go big and kind of clip the lines. And then in the end, started to play a bit more passively in the first set and then ended up losing it. Swiatek just really, really strong. And she was winning the majority of the rallies as well. Stronger from the back of the court. And the baseline exchanges, she was coming out on top in the backhand to backhand exchange. I mean, Coco Gauff showed glimpses of the backhand up the line, which is so, so good. But Swiatek also then replied in kind almost a couple of points later when it had happened. And it was just incredible to see. And the forehand to forehand exchanges as well. Coco Gauff maybe a little bit more susceptible for errors on that side. And we did see quite a few of them. But Swiatek, as I said, the forehand has been revamped, let's say, this year, and it's looking damn good. It's looking really, really good, I have to say. And it's got so many different looks on it. She hits it so hard. Like, it's just, I mean, so much topspin, like so many different looks, so many different ways of hitting it, and also equally effective. And it's kind of similar to what we used to talk about Ash Barty having this tool bag, this kit bag, where there's so many different things that Ash Barty could utilize. Swiatek's getting to that stage now. She needs to add a very good backhand slice to her kit bag, and maybe a very good drop shot, and maybe come to the net a bit more. And then we're talking about a not just an elite player, but a player who is almost impossible to beat. But she's almost at that stage because at the moment she's so strong, so strong mentally as well. On the big points, she's able to just manage herself fantastically. But Coco Gauff, as I said, the 1+ play, definitely something she can work on. Also, the first set percentage, I know at 65%, I think it wasn't it? At 65% is pretty high for her. But she was actually and has been a bit lower than that or around that in terms of an average for the tournament. So she needs to try and kind of push that up to the 70% mark or more because it's such an effective first serve. Second serve's not bad either. It's a kick serve. Normally, it's actually pretty effective as well. But the issue with that is that someone like Iga will step in on it. And her 1+ play at the moment isn't incredible. So she needs to kind of almost and tends to, I think, lean on the serve to get out of trouble straight away or give herself a very short ball to then put away. So some good defensive work as well from Coco. Good to see her. And the second set, she just started playing some really good tennis in the first 2 games. Really, really good. Some mistakes from Iga Swiatek. She capitalized on it, Coco Gauff. Some great exchanges where she came out on top. The drop shot as well, which she only utilized a couple of times, but when she did, she won the point. She did try it, I think, a couple more times after and missed it and then stopped utilizing it. She should have just stuck with it because it was working. And against someone like Swiatek, the way that she managed to play it was the touch and feel was phenomenal. And the fact that she managed to win those points was like, wow, like that is incredible. The other thing is she's so tensive coming to the net. Coco Gauff, there was a point where she was on the front foot and she was pressing and you could see she hit an in-out forehand and it was the perfect time to come to the net. Like it was a perfect approach. Instead, she hesitated. She thought, oh, do I want to come to the net? No. And stayed back. And then she got caught in no man's land and lost the point. If she works on that, she is going to be the next level, right? She's going to rise to the next level with a 1+ play, with the volleying. She's able to kind of come in behind it and actually be confident with the volley. She plays a lot of doubles. Now, that's not to say, by the way, that's not to say that she should be a good volleyer generally, because a lot of doubles players aren't particularly good at volleying in singles. It's a very different ball game. It is. Of course, it helps somewhat, but it doesn't help enough to directly translate to you're a good volleyer in singles. It's very different volleying in singles to doubles. I can tell you that as a club player, and I've talked to people before, and they've said exactly the same thing. So, but in saying that, she should be able to come forward and volley well, just because I've seen her do it in the past. And I know she's got it in her locker. She's probably tensive because Swiatek's so good in terms of passing, but Coco Gauff was good with the passing shots as well, I have to say. That was a big plus, especially with the backhand pass down the line. But she passed her with the forehand and backhand, actually. And Swiatek, that was a one part of a game which wasn't that good today. She only won 4 out of 9 net points. And that's because the approaches weren't bad, but they weren't sublime. And Coco Gauff made her pay. And then Swiatek actually thought, okay, you know what? I'm not going to come to the net. I'm going to hit with you from the back of the court, and I'm going to win that way. And that's what she did. So it was a good little change up from Swiatek. She kind of knew what was working, what wasn't working. And Coco Gauff, it's her first ever Grand Slam final. I think she managed to, conduct herself in the right manner in that second set. Just unfortunate that she was 2-love up and surrendered the break. And the way she surrendered it was there was a double fault chucked in there, a couple of errors, and it was just a little bit tame. So that was a disappointment. And then when Swiatek got in front, because she was serving first in the set, it was then a matter of time, right? And she did, though, save Coco Gauff, a few break points, right? As well, a few. Yeah, she did. She saved a few more break points as well. Forced She forced Swiatek to serve for the set and the match, and the championship even. So that was good as well. Some good mental fortitude shown from Coco Gauff, so good to see. I just think generally a very good tournament for the American, given that it's her first ever Grand Slam final, great run, and she'll take that experience going forward and no doubt win slams in the future. For Iga Swiatek, I mean, how dominant can she be on the clay? Because there's no one else who's as consistent as her on the clay. And the commentators were talking about her winning multiple slams at Roland Garros, is in multiple consecutive slams at Roland Garros. Now, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Of course, you need to have very good luck in terms of injuries, in terms of also form as well going into it. It's not as easy as just like this Swiatek playing today isn't necessarily going to be the Swiatek who turns up next year. I mean, most likely it'll be a better one, but you just never know. So what's incredible as well, she's never lost a final, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Swiatek. So she's lost a total 32 total games in her 9 finals. Actually, sorry, her cog beat Swiatek. She's the only one to do it, and that was her first ever WTA final, I think it was. So it's just ridiculous. So I have to say that Iga Swiatek, what a win for her. Her second ever Roland Garros title, second ever slam, and I'd imagine that it's not just going to be her second ever Roland Garros and second ever slam. It's going to be the second slam of very many, second Roland Garros title of many, and it's going to be interesting to see where her career ends up. But who can stop her? I have absolutely zero idea. She talked about Coco Gauff, Emma Raducanu, and Leylah Fernandez actually on I actually recommend you guys reading it. She has a column for BBC Sport. It's on the tennis part of it, and you can check it out. And she does written articles, and she was doing it throughout Roland Garros about her time there. And she talked about how she thinks Coco Gauff, Raducanu, and Fernandez are going to be massive competitors or contenders with her. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Remember to smash the like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and do subscribe if you're new. If you're a podcast listener or watcher, do remember to leave a rating or review, and also remember to subscribe as well. You can also support the channel even further by hitting that join button as well if you are already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and become a member. And there's some exclusive content that will come through there, and some cool perks as well. On top of that, we are going to be doing a live watch along, of course, for tomorrow's men's final between Nadal and Ruud. Do check that out for that watch along. By play-by-play commentary. And on Monday, we'll be doing a live discussion with Gil Gross from Monday Match Analysis and 3 Tennis Podcast on Roland Garros and rounding it up. So looking forward to that. Stay tuned. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you.